Uncle Herb is 92, and he is my great uncle. We're separated by 2 generations, yet our lives have, really come together. I think that a work of art, it can be a building, it can be a painting, always has something new to show you. And it seems like even to the artists themselves, they find something new. And it's not surprising because as I have learned through Uncle Herb's work, you can never experience the same thing twice. So even when you create something, it then will change later. You're always going to be seeing and feeling something different.
Well, I did have a feeling for mass, form, and texture. And as a kid, in grade school and high school, I used to play a lot with 5 or 6 blocks of modeling clay. And I put it together and made different kind of toys out of it, ships and planes. And when I was a junior in high school, I decided I wanted to be an architect. Started at Syracuse University because it was close by and I didn't know anything about schools. And I read a short article about Goff becoming chairman at OU. And so I transferred. Spent the best part of my life here studying with Goff and taught here for 6 years. And I liked the prairies. So I'm enjoying being back here.
Herb Greene designed and built the Prairie House in Norman, Oklahoma when he was on the faculty at the university in the early 1960s. Greene built this house for himself, and he designed the whole thing, but students helped him with the construction. So they would come out to the site and help with the building of the house, very much like at the Bavinger House and the Wilson House, not too far from here. So the inside of the Prairie House is magnificent, and it's one of the most memorable spaces for anyone who visits it because it's unlike any other house or building that you'll ever be in. You might hear it compared to a cave, and again, Greene intended that. So he was very interested in layering symbols or memories into the design of a space. He wanted you to come in and have strong emotional responses to his architecture. And that's exactly what you get in this space. Even if you can't put your finger on it, it's memorable and powerful in a way that few spaces in our contemporary world are.
I certainly wasn't building it to make publicity for myself. I just wanted to make a statement about a house on the prairie. And I want it to be, look like it could be a lot of things that resembled a house, a barn, a bird. I wanted it to look poignant, particularly from the window side, which meant, to me, it meant something that was sort of piercing and fierce, combined with what was tender and loving. Well, as I said many times, I wanted to look like something was tied to the ground and also trying to free itself from the ground, like to fly away.
It is very much like a holistic, integrated composition. It's not a house divided into little square box rooms and individual parts. It's one continuous experience.
When I was a little girl and decided I wanted to be an architect, if I had been given the opportunity to see the Prairie House, how that would have sort of broken all these boundaries about what architecture can be. I wish that I had had that, and I didn't get that. And so I have it now, and that's, a gift that can't be put into words. But for anyone's imagination, the Prairie House gives us that sort of endlessness of possibility. It's like Uncle Herb didn't even have any historical background on what the requirements were for a house. It's like he came from another planet and said, I don't know, a house can look like this. How about this? The Prairie House exemplifies what is happening in our minds, the cognitive process of how we look at something and the conclusions that we make on what we feel about it. So it's a representation of that idea of how we make meaning in built form.